Alright, so in this video, I am going to show you the method that I use to make these bricks for your miniature projects, and I'll also be showing you how I made this archway wall that you see here in the middle. Alright, so this is the roll that I will be using. It's cork contact paper roll. It's sticky on the back, so it'll be perfect for the method that I am going to show you. Now you can paint these this cork any color you want, or you can just leave it the color that it is. So you're just going to cut out a piece of that cork contact paper, and then I am holding mine down with 2 weights because it did hold its form and it's rolled up, so it kind of rolled up and held its form. So I am holding that down with 2 weights. So I am going to be using this paint. It comes in like a stone effect or a look. I'm going to use this spray paint to spray the cork. All right, y'all, so boom, it is complete. This is the stone look and the stone finish and the stone texture for our bricks. So while that's drying, you can start on your next part. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead and make a template for the bricks. So you're just going to open up a Word document on your computer, and you're going to go up at the top where it says insert, and you're going to insert a table. All right, and we're just going to let's just put, you right here. Now this doesn't matter how many. So here is your table that you inserted. So you're just going to press up here at the corner, and you're going to right click and go to table properties. Now here is where you'll be able to adjust your row height. Also, you'll be able to adjust the width of your bricks as well. So the one thing you want to make sure is that when you do go to the row and you do the height, you're going to click specify the height. Let's just go up a few, and then you always want to make sure you click this arrow and go to exactly, and then you're going to press OK. So that's what it does with that. Now, in order to add a row, you're just going to click in your last box and press tab. So to add another row, press tab, and it adds rows. So the main thing that you want to do is you want to go up here, highlight your table, right click, go to table properties, and then you'll be able to specify the height of your bricks, and then when you go to columns, you'll be able to specify the width of your bricks depending on your project. So once you have what you want your bricks to, the size that you want your bricks, you're just going to go ahead and print off this piece of paper. I do have several sheets of paper that I'm going to be needing because I do need a lot of bricks. So what you're going to do is you're just going to put those sheets of paper, together in the way that they print it, and then you're just going to cut out the outside, cut out the white on this piece of paper. So go ahead and cut out that, and then you're going to end up with pieces like this. Now, with these pieces, you are going to take the cork contact paper that you had just spray painted. You are going to take those pieces of paper and you're going to stick those onto that cork that you have spray painted. So these contact papers do have a sticky back onto them. So after you take the protective covering off, you will be left with a sticky back, so that's going to be easier for the pieces of paper to stick to them. So after you stick those pieces of paper onto the back, I didn't really care if it was lined up straight onto this contact paper. I just kind of just stuck them on there. I will show you how you can just get away with just sticking them on there and not really worrying about how they are fitting. But here is where I'm going to show you how I'm going to separate those lines so that when you are cutting with the paper trimmer, you're not cutting straight, because some of these lines aren't straight, as you can see. Now, when you have, after you stick them on, and you're going to have lines that aren't straight down and across, you're just going to cut basically out that sheet of paper that you have already cut in place. You're just going to cut that out so that when you are putting it through the trimmer, you got these straight lines and it's not all over the place. So make sure you go ahead and cut those pieces of paper that you have already cut out. So this will be 1, 2, 3. This will be another one that you would cut out. This would be one you would cut out, and then this will be another one, and then this will be another one. So you're just going to cut out the pieces of paper that you have already cut previously. Cut those out. All right, so now you got all of these pieces, and you're ready to use the trimmer to cut out some rows. After you cut those rows out, you're going to end up with pieces like this. So now you're going to need your scissors, and you're going to just cut straight lines down to make the bricks. You're going to end up with pieces like this. So now I do have some darker ones that I did use some black and white paint, and I kind of sponged those on because I didn't want all my bricks to be, you know, having the same color. I wanted some dimension with the colors. So there are some bricks that I just used some black and white paint and kind of sponged those on just to give it a different look. Alright, so you can paint these bricks any way you want, but to get different dimensions with what I am doing, I did take some black and I put about a few spots of the black paint onto the cork. And then I just took some white paint and I took a sponge, and I'm just going to dab that white in with the black just to give it some dimension and different color variations. So I did want to make one that had more white variations than the dark color. So once again, I'm going to put some black on there, and then I'm going to take a sponge and then put a lot of white paint onto that sponge. Now after that, I am going to dab that onto the cork. Dabbing it is going to ensure that it gives it more of a realistic brick look instead of that flat gray look. If you do spread that, it's going to be flat gray. You do want the end result to look like it's a realistic brick. So you want it to look like that. So that's why you need to dab it. All right, y'all. So boom, here is the result. There's some that are dark, some that's just, you know, gray, but this is 3. I wanted there to be more white than the dark. So once again, dabbing it is going to ensure that you get more of a brick look. These will be cut up, and then you'll be able to really see what I meant by that. But here are some pieces that aren't going to be the regular stone look. So once that is dry, you're just going to cut those pieces up just like we did the spray painted pieces. You're going to do that same with the dab painted pieces. So you're going to get, you know, it's like this. You got several there, and then I separated those from the ones that have just been spray painted. That way I'll be able to grab whatever I need out of this bag, because we're not going to use as much as the dab pieces as we are with the spray painted pieces. So I did separate those so that I will be able to get what I need out of here when I need it. So now that we have enough pieces, I am going to show you how I made my archway. You can use these archways if you are doing a diorama, or I am actually doing it for a dollhouse that I'm doing. So I am going to show you how I do that. Okay, you are going to need some foam board. Anytime I use foam, I also use cardstock to cover up the foam. So you're going to need foam and cardstock, and what you're going to do is you're going to take that cardstock and you are going to cover the foam on both sides. So after you cover that foam on both sides with your cardstock, you're going to end up with this. So that foam is inside, cardstock on the outside. And then you will be able to have a, thicker piece, a more durable piece than just the foam when you put that cardstock, when you glue that cardstock onto the foam. And because I am doing a dollhouse, I did need it to be more durable than just the foam. Plus it's going to give me that thickness that I want for the dollhouse. So you're going to decide what size you want your wall, and you're just going to cut that foam and cardstock to the size that you want. All right, y'all, so once you got the height and the width that you want for your archway, you're going to mark here where you're going to want to end your post for the edge of your arch. Then you're going to take a ruler and you're going to measure that there, and you're going to make the same marking on the other side. Then you're going to take a bowl. Now, I was trying to figure out how I can make the perfect arch, so I decided to take a bowl. What you're going to do with that bowl is you're going to trace around that bowl to get the perfect arch. Just make sure that your bowl is in the center of your foam, and then you're just going to trace on the outside all around. You're just going to go kind of to 1/4 of the circumference of the bowl, not all the way down. So once you have that, you're just going to connect this point to this point. And then you're going to do it on the other side. You're going to connect this point to this point. And there you have a perfect arch, and you're going to cut the middle out. Y'all, so boom, here it is. So now what you're gonna do is just spray paint it white or whatever color grout you want to use for your bricks. My grout is going to be white, so it is spray painted white, front and back, and even the sides. So the glue we're going to be using to stick our bricks on is going to be this glue. It does dry clear. It goes on white and it dries clear, so it's going to be perfect to use to stick our bricks on. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start at the part where your curve of your arch is going. You're going to start laying your bricks on this side. You are going to want your bricks, the layover of your bricks, to be on this side. That way it'll be easier to cut them off on this side rather than cutting them on this side. So you're going to lay your bricks starting on this side until you get to about here on the archway, and then you're going to stop. Your overlay of your bricks are going to once again be on this side so that it'll be easier to cut. So when you start, you're just going to start like this. And your overlay is going to be on this side. So here you're just going to lay the bricks down, mimicking what you would see on a brick wall. And basically the bottom bricks is gonna align with the top brick in the middle. And you're just going to repeat, your brick pattern all the way up the wall. Alright, so once you get to this point, you're just going to arrange some of the bricks diagonally. This is to mimic some of the older homes that you see where the bricks are laying diagonally instead of horizontally. So you're just going to arrange those first before you glue those into place. completed, and now you can just cut the overhang off on either side. And at the top there's a little overhang also. You can also cut that off as well. All right, y'all, so boom, here it is, the front and the back. Now I'm going to show y'all how I do the dollhouse walls, including how to do stairs with bricks. All right, so the front of this is done, and I also did the insides here. So now I'm just going to show you how I do the back. So you want to have your pieces arranged onto your wall before gluing it on. So this will be a good example of why you want to do that. As you can see, I am starting on the right hand side, and later on you are going to see me switch that to the left hand side. The reason why is because you are going to want your hangovers from the bricks to be on the right hand side, so it'll be easier to cut rather than having the hangover on the left hand side. If you do have the hangover on the left-hand side, you're just going to have to cut around the archway. It's just easier to cut it on the right-hand side where you can just cut straight down instead of going around the archway. Also, the smaller pieces that you do have, it's just easier to put those on the left-hand side, which is the inside of the archway, rather than putting them on the right-hand side because you're going to have the hangovers on the right-hand side. Okay, so basically this is what I mean. There is some overhang that you are going to want to cut off. It is okay to actually have that overhang on there since you're just going to be able to cut it off anyways. So you do want that to be on the outside so that it's easier to just cut off with a box cutter. So you're just going to cut that off, like I said, and then you're going to keep those pieces as extras. Those extra small pieces will be used for areas where you're going to need smaller bricks. So you are going to make sure that that piece is dry before you cut those overhangs off. And then you're just going to repeat those steps that I mentioned in the beginning, making sure the first two bricks on top meets in the middle of the other brick. And you're just going to repeat that process all the way around until you get this look here. Now, when you're doing a wall with the stairs, the process is going to be just a little different because you are going to have to cut those bricks in the angle of where the stairs lay. Okay, so what I mean by the angle of where the stairs is, you're going to lay a brick down, covering where that white grout is going to be. You're just going to cover that piece up, and then you're going to take your sparring knife and you're going to cut where that angle of the stairs is. You're going to want to make sure that that is straight down to where that angle of the stairs is. So then you're going to end up with a piece like this. What you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to, it'll just be easier to just finish that row before starting the next row. So when you start your next row, you're going to make sure you're going in the middle as well. And so this would be the middle of that other brick, and you're just going to score where that angle is again. So you're going to end up with a smaller piece on this side. So then when you get your next brick, once again, you're going to do the same. You're going to make sure that where that middle is where you're going to make this brick in the middle, and then you're just going to score that one as well. So what I would do is will start with your first one, your first row, and just go all the way across, and then start with your next piece and then go all the way across, and then your next piece, and you're gonna go all the way across. Okay, here I just want to show you why it's important to finish a row first before starting the next row, because your next brick on this row is going to be right here, so the middle would be right here, for the next brick to go on top. Then you'll have, you know, your next brick going this way. So it's actually going to be an even tinier piece that you're going to cut for this brick, and then this one as well. So you want to make sure you finish that row first before starting your next row, because that is going to determine where this is going to be cut at. You don't want to start cutting away because you're not going to be sure how your bricks are going to be for the row underneath it. So you do want to finish that row, so that way you'll be able to determine how you need to cut the pieces on this side. After you finish a few rows, you are going to want to put like your stairs back in just to make sure that you're getting that good fit. You may have to do some adjusting, but before the glue completely dries, make sure you're able to adjust that with the stairs in place. Alright, so when you get up to where the arch is at and the stairs meet, you're just going to arrange those out, and then you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to use your sparring knife to cut that line where that angle of the stairs is at. So just the same thing you did down here, you're going to do the same, but you're just going to rearrange them first, and then you're going to cut where that line is at. Alright y'all, so boom, there is the wall with the stairs on there as well. And now that that is complete, I am going to go ahead and paint in the stairs where you see that right there. I'm going to go ahead and paint that in with white paint. So boom, that is painted in white. Now if you want to know how I was able to get that outline on there, go ahead and watch part 4 of making the Victoria farmhouse. I do explain how I was able to get the painter's tape to be right in there so that I was able to just paint the whole thing white, and then have that space open so that I was able to put the bricks in where they needed to go. So go ahead and watch the Victoria farmhouse part 4 if you want to know how I did that. I will also post that video link in the description box below for easy access to that video. Just go to the description box and you can click on that link, and I will explain how I did those steps. So what I'm going to do next is, if it is bothering you that some of the bricks is showing, you know, that brown right there, because we didn't paint that part, we just painted the top of it. If that is bothering you, I am going to show you how you can get rid of the brown with just some white paint. So you can use white or gray or whatever color bricks that you have. I am just going to use white so that it is more of a, you know, the grout look, rather than using gray or black. I'm going to use white, and you're just going to end up taking a tiny paintbrush and just painting straight down and around, and then straight down again if that brown is bothering you. Once again, take a small paintbrush like that and some white paint like this here, and then you're just going to dab your paintbrush into that paint, get a little bit of paint onto your paintbrush, and then you're just going to paint those brown spots that you see that you're trying to hide. You can also do this with some of the bricks that are showing some brown. You can just add a little paint on those bricks as well to kind of hide the brown. You may not be able to get all of the brown, obviously, because it is a lot. You'll have to go in between the grout lines and to get all the brown. But once you get most of it, it kind of hides, you know, all of the brown if that brown is bothering you. So that is just how I get rid of, you know, most of the brown, so that it looks more cleaner than, you know, having brown and gray bricks. You just get the white paint and paint those brown spots, and you'll be able to hide away most of the brown. All right, so boom, this side is done. We filled in those brown, most of the brown areas. If you were able to tell before, you can barely tell now. Before, like I said, it didn't bother me, but this is after of what it looks like when you fill those brown spots in. Also, some of the bricks also had brown spots, so those are also filled in, and this is what it's gonna look like. Here I'm going to show you why it's important to do the technique that I just showed you, the method to making these bricks. As you can see, when I did these bricks, I did not use the method that I had just shown you, and all these bricks are different sizes, widths, and lengths. So that is why it's important to do a method where your bricks are going to be the same size, lengths, and widths. And also, you can see this is what it looks like with the cork painted red. So you can paint the cork any color, and this is basically just like a candy apple red on top of the brown cork. So once again, I'm just showing you how the imperfections in this is very apparent when you are not using a method where all your bricks are the same size, shape, and once again, here's another one where the bricks are all different sizes, widths, and lengths. So with this one, I did not paint the bricks at all. I was going for the brownstones that you see in New York. So I did not paint the cork. This is what it looks like if you do not paint the cork at all. So once again, it is important to use the method that I showed you. That way you won't have these imperfections in your bricks, and your bricks will all be the same size with lengths, and they will all align up perfectly when you do the method that I just showed you. All right, so that is the method that I use to make my bricks and to make this arched ball. I am in the process of building the Victoria Farmhouse dollhouse kit, so go ahead and check those videos out. All of the materials I use will be in the description box under dollhouse building materials link, which is my Amazon store. So go ahead and check that out to get all of the materials that I used to do the bricks. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to check out the next videos that I post, go ahead and hit that bell so that you will get the notifications. Thanks for watching.